We will get started right now. Alright, so first of all, thank you so much everyone for attending at this very holiday season. And today we would like to share with you guys the economy recaps. In short, the macro economy recap of what is happening in the past 2024 and what is the opportunity that we can get in 2025. And now after we go through these 2004 recaps, then we'll move on with a bit of seasonal analysis and overall overview of how market performs throughout the years. And just be aware that there are a lot of data that I prepared for you guys, but I will just briefly go through. If you want to see the details of the number, then later my team will update in the membership website for you guys for a reference. Okay, and by the end of the session as well, I will have a little bit update about Alpha Accelerator and how we're going to move forward for the next year as well. Okay, so without further ado, let's just get started with our 2024 macro economy recaps. Alright, so for this year, right, what you guys has been going through at the early of the year is totally kind of different from what is happening right now. Okay, now in terms of economy, right, the things that people keep on talking about the earlier of 2024 is how would the inflation affect our economy right now. And it's being proven that right now most of the economy was kind of stabilized, and I have the data to show you guys in a moment. But basically what you are seeing right now is China right now was growing strong at the early of the year, including US and Europe. Even though both looking at growing at around 3.2% by the end of the year of 2024, but from the statistic right now, it shows that the economy is just growing back to normal in a very fast pace. It's much faster compared to the previous stage already. Okay, now some of the things that you guys need to be taken into consideration is on investment portfolio right now, majority of the share is going into renewable energy. For example, like solar, wind, including nuclear power plant is part of renewable energy. Why? If you guys can notice, right, electricity price, crude oil price, natural price, those energy very heavy raw materials, right, like crude oil, natural gas, and all these fossil fuel kind of energy costing all has been increases at least 50% since 2023 until right now. Even though crude oil right now this year does not have increased much in terms of the price, but actually the cost is still very affecting like European country. Hence, a lot of companies start to think into consideration of why don't they just invest in the renewable energy that is even cheaper, can do carbon tax deductions, as well as it's a new hype, alright, like Tesla electricity car vehicles all has been come out all the way to Asia right now. So it is become a trend whereby that all the country, all the big MNC, they are focusing to go for net zero emission. Even though right now the direction is a little bit mixture, okay, in the future of the next 5 years, they are more looking into hybrid, which is both combination of fossil fuel and renewable energy. But then over here right now, we can see that renewable energy is still new, right? It's like a blue ocean. People are willing to invest, fight to the same technology maturity as fossil fuel. So that's what's happening in 2024. People are keep on investing in renewable energy. If you can check renewable energy share in US and in China, they are growing a lot. That's also including in Malaysia. A lot of Malaysia company in doing like solar energy. We are mainly solar and wind. Solar, hydro, and wind. Solar is the one that growing the most attention in Malaysia, and a lot of data center come to here. It's not because that we have super good talent or what. They come to here just because they can buy our energy and then use it to claim for carbon tax. So that is the advantage right now. You buy renewable energy, can claim for better business expansion, especially in the tax wise. Okay. Other than that, of course, is AI, and this year is all about AI, NVIDIA, the GPU chips. All right, whoever that just launched AI products, do a startup, can get funding, and then yeah, that is where the money goes to right now. A lot of people fighting for AI, but you can also see that quite a number of news mentioning that AI was a bubble. So there are a few key criteria that how did you determine that if the AI products for the company, let's say that the Apple, alright, Apple has introduced their own quote unquote AI, which is the Apple Intelligence. The AI that come out from Apple, right, is it having any significant business growth, alright, meaning that whatever the AI doing, I mean whatever Apple doing right now for the AI technology, does it contribute any positive feedback from the user right now? As far as I understand, iPhone 16, the user that using the latest AI technology have not give much feedback about Apple Intelligence. At least it's not really contributing or make a big changes compared to what ChatGPT has been done. So ChatGPT right now is the pioneer in the market. A little bit about news about ChatGPT is they are getting one more round of funding from most of the company, which I believe that they are invest in ChatGPT in exchange of the first hand using the ChatGPT updates the latest news, like for example O3. Okay, ChatGPT direction was actually correct, which is they are focusing more on research and development. The big player that are willing to pay the money for new developments, rather that they develop their own AI team to do themselves, OpenAI do for them in exchange of their investment returns. So as far as I can see, Apple is a little bit late from the race already. Google, even though it's chasing, but the actual market leader right now is more on China side. From the O1, not the 01, 0, right? The number 01 China team. Okay, they are the one that develop I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but Ling Yi. Okay, Ling Yi 模型, right? Model for 01 is actually very close compared to ChatGPT 4.0, and they are open source DeepSeek, right? This is the word, DeepSeek. It's actually an open source model developed by China. Okay, whereby they are just trained with a little bit old generation GPU, but still can beat the same quality as 4.0. So the good move of OpenAI right now is they move to O3, sorry, whatever the Strawberry model, O1, O3, and moving forward more logical. Will China come up to fight the race? I think very soon. So the investment direction for AI right now is not who have the most CPU, most chip right now, is those who can do the most cost-effective model that is open source. Okay, open source is something that very interesting. Just think about this. Facebook had come out with their Llama model. Right, the biggest Llama model is Llama 3.2 right now. Okay, Llama 3.2 is about 304 billions size, whereby the performance is just about GPT-4 or slightly lower than that. Okay, but then they are doing it open source. That is the key. And why open source is, they know one thing for sure, because how much money that even Meta throw in, they cannot beat OpenAI 7 years of research. So they open source it. Hopefully that hopefully that the whole world or public help them to do research on it. Tell them what is the bug. Tell them where can improve. Take ideas, innovations from the worldwide. So for example, that I'm using Llama and I do it for trading purpose, and I say, oh, okay, there's such a functionality. How was the performance? They're getting all this research done by the general public, and in exchange, he hope that whatever that we develop, he take a cup of, they take back our research and then do their own development. So in short, right now was in a stage whereby you can think of it like this: an economy is growing to a certain level, and now it's stagnant, right? Or even OpenAI was stagnant, and a lot of new big NIC that want to catch, they are right now goes to this stagnant level. So next question is, would OpenAI in 2005 have next biggest jump, which they promised to be GPT-5, but right now confirm is dead. And the only way for them to scale up, right, which is the scaling law, is with the, we call that the rational model. 03, 04, 05, could it really do a real business functions? For example, I call this 03 to solve marketing problem for me. Would it come up with a marketing strategy, come up with a whole copywriting, the Facebook, how to do Facebook targeting, how to do the sales, everything step-by-step promise. Tell me what to do, and I use it, indeed able to work? That is the question. So that is where that everyone is fighting right now, is to fight for a LLM model that have a super clear business use case. Alright, the keyword here is business use case. And so far, the one that have the clearest business use case is actually NVIDIA. You buy the chip, you buy the GPU, you can process it. Next year, NVIDIA will come out with their latest NVIDIA. Okay, not sure if you guys see this, but NVIDIA 50 series. Okay, is a consumer levels of GPU, which they promise that this is enough for you guys to train your own LLM model. Everyone can train. Just like how 10 years ago, everyone can use computer to play games. And now everyone can use a computer to train your own AI model, which is a very obvious business model. But the people that train up the language model, would they able to come to the same levels? OpenAI, unlikely. Okay, so the key fight here is still remain. What is the business use case for language model right now? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that stocks already. And next, let's talk about macroeconomy. So for macroeconomy, right, I'll share with you guys where did I get all this data that's important. So now what you guys can see over here, just to confirm. Yeah. Okay, so over here what you guys are seeing right now is the website called Trading Economy. So this is the favorite website that I always come to get the market data, and the best thing is it is free. Okay, of course you can buy to get the most premium data, but all the economy data here is clean. Okay, at least live update, live market change, all the economical indicator data like GDP, interest rate, inflation, everything is listed here. For example, I want to know by end of 2024 which country was growing good. So you can see that over here I can see that the country that growing very good is US area, and this Argentina, alright, and this one Nigeria, not sure why. Then there is a China. Okay, so from here I can roughly have a view of how good is each economy doing right now, without you do a lot of analysis. But the things that we want to analyze right now is we want to analyze the top economy continent, how well they are growing right now. So including US, okay, US here, right? US, UK, Europe, Australia, Canada, Japan, as well as China. Okay, Australian and New Zealand and Australia, I assume they are the same. Okay, so I just analyze all this as the key economy. Skip all this fancy data, they just come to the graph. Okay, so on this graph, what is the key information here? Now this is the data, latest is on September, some is on December. Okay, depend on country. But what you can see over here is that the biggest economic growth is by China, and basically China has just ramped up all the way back to the original state. And this later I can show you guys the real data from stocks market. In fact, China is the one that did the most and grew out the most in the past 1 year. So over here, right, the entire China economy was back to normal, whereby the other countries still chasing at the back, like Japan, Australia. Next, move on with Europe and UK, which they are about the same. Canada and US is brother adik, so they are growing up as well. US, I will say that they are not yet grow back to the original state due to the manufacturing issue. Okay. So you see, interest rate wise, we can look into the data whereby most of the country interest rate right now has lowered down from last time the highest is 5.5 to 6%. Right now, even US recently has dropped all the way to 4.5, UK around 4.8, China is back to 3, and in future, personally, I believe that in Donald Trump period, the entire economy data will drop even further. Okay, I mean drop the interest rate further to stimulate the economy. But there will be also a concern whereby in terms of government GDP toward their debt. Okay, this is the debt percentage versus the country. You can see that last time in around September, around early of the year, I just remember early of the year, there is a debate whereby would US allow their debt over GDP goes above 100%, meaning in human terms, whatever you earn, you are okay. So let's say, okay, you earn 100. Okay.
Want in life and are willing to fight for it, whether that means pushing personal challenges or seeking a partner to attach them.
Okay. Okay, put it again. So GDP, I mean government debt to the GDP ratio. So what does that mean? GDP is sort of like your earning, your revenue, and that is how much you have to pay back. And right now, US economy is in a range whereby they earn 100, they have to pay back 130 back to the holder. And who is the largest US government debt holder is actually China. Why, I'll talk in a moment, but basically what you are seeing is that this is a trend of what will happen in 2025. Most of the country right now, they are very likely to breach beyond the hundreds. I mean, there's nothing scary about this. That is how the world been built up for. But what I mean is that if you go beyond 100, you are just getting more and more difficult to scale your country economy unless you have a super strong manufacturing or super strong service that been exported to the worldwide. Like for example, in Japan, they have been stuck. They have been stuck for years due to a lot of debt that cannot be cleared out. But then for US, they have breached, but they are still strong in terms of their service line. For example, like Nvidia, their manufacturing is still good. OpenAI, all these are Google, Microsoft, Amazon. This kind of tech company is still holding the US economy very good. Next, go with UK and Euro area. They are very likely to go beyond here by next year, which that is the only way for them to scale the business and to scale the economy. So what will happen is that as this thing getting approaching to 100, their share will surely drop, and then you will wait for a few more days to wait for the news. Same thing like what happened to US last time. A few more days, week later, after government fight, they do their show, and in the end, they've just finalized, okay, let's just open up and push this beyond 100. And that time, the share was spiked. Same thing goes to China, but I don't think that China will breach so soon in the next year, right? Maybe like 2 to 3 years later. Maybe after the trade war happens. Okay, so that is what you guys can definitely expect from Euro and UK. And when this thing breach, right, what will happen is very likely these two currencies will increase. Why? That also means that the government printing money to save the economy. Sometimes can be bad, but for the next year, the print money on this good economy period is getting the economy to be better. I mean, I show you guys a stats first. Right, so this step will be more straightforward. Okay, let's see in terms of currency first. Just specifically from Forex data. If I want you guys to focus in the top 8 major currency, you can see that this first four is currency that against USD. Okay, most of the currency against USD is drop for the entire year. Okay, Euro, USD, GU, AU, NU. All these currency is drop, but the currency that is USD against something like UJ, USD CHF, UCAD, alright, all this currency is growing. What does that mean? Means that the economy, I mean the USD itself, right? The USD itself has been grow up a lot. And why it is growing up is due to the policy of Biden. They want the USD to be stronger again. But if you think about this, a country that has a strong currency is actually not so good for their export, because people buy your product is getting more and more expensive, then how can they buy, right? So in a way that let's say Biden push out the economy by getting the USD stronger and stronger, so that people is richer and can control on their inflation rate, because their USD is strong, they can buy other people country in a cheaper price. That is a result of what is happening in here. Okay, they do printing money, buy back USD so that they increase in value. But the downside is manufacturing drop. So what you are seeing the data right now, this is the data of manufacturing and service PMI, purchasing manager index. In short, the 50 line is a benchmark. Above 50 line means that economy is good, manufacturing is doing a lot of work. When manufacturing have work, service line have work, everyone have work, everyone is earning money. So above this line means that economy is earning money for the next 3 months. So this is like predictive indicator, because by theory, when manufacturing something, it takes about 2 to 3 months, and when it comes to consumer, it takes about 6 months. So the economy effect is like propagate like a ripple, a dip of water, and we see how far they can go. So right now, this 50 line is we are checking, is it have a stone deep in the water that everyone can start to earn money, or there is a vacuum that absorb out the money, so they are losing money. Okay, so you can see in terms of economy on US wise, USD gets stronger, the service getting higher and higher. Of course, due to a lot of AI thingy happen in US, they buy other people like cheap Indian labor to come to US to work, and just boost out the service line, the software line, the tech line a lot more profitable in US. Okay, they export their manufacturing, they've been profitable a lot in the US line here, but then it's lower in terms of their manufacturing. So one of the news that happened in US last time is Biden come out with a policy, like I forgot what's the English term, but in Chinese we call it 芯片法案, the processor chip policy by Biden. So the policy is that Biden would like to have all chip processing company come back to the land of US to do development. A few of the big tycoon was join this policy, which is including Intel, Tesla, TSMC, right, which is the Taiwan chip manufacturer, all coming back to US to manufacture within US, so that US can get the cheapest chip for the entire world. But one thing that people have forget is labor cost in US is super damn high, land cost is high in US as well. And the biggest downside of this policy is that whoever that sign the contract, they have to take out their money, build their own manufacturing all the way to 90% almost completion of the manufacturing, and only then the government will fork out money to subsidize 10% or 20% of the manufacturing cost. And that is provided that you have to appeal, you have to apply again. So that is also something not so good for those big tycoon. Why Elon Musk is suffering? In fact, whatever they are doing is market leader. But why they are suffering is because of this. Why Intel share was so bad recently, and right now it's even been kicked out from S&P 500, is because of this policy as well. They fork out a lot of money to build the manufacturing plant, but the government does not support them. Hence, it's very, very difficult for them to scale that manufacturing. And in fact, if you can see, the only country that is good in both manufacturing and service line is actually China. Of course, you can say that China faked some data, but it's still proven that China is growing back to the previous stage already. Okay, from this data, what we can say is that the economy in Asia region is getting back to normal again. Why? I mean, of course, China was in Asia, and it will definitely help out the entire country and nearby to grow up in terms of the business activities. Okay, so talk a little bit. What will happen after this? Okay, since the service line is strong, then of course the government will not do anything. But manufacturing was not so good. So what happened in 1st of January? Should be at 25th of January. Okay, so you guys can take note the date. The date is 20th of January. Okay, at 20th of January of 2025, Donald Trump will be confirmed to become the next president of the United States. And by a lot of memes, right, a lot of people say that Donald Trump come out, would they initiate another trade war? Would the trade war still happen again? Alright, that is questions. The purpose of trade war is that Donald Trump really want to help those big tycoons like Elon Musk, Intel, big company come back to US to do the business in US, and governments will subsidize for this big company. Whereby the approach of Biden is they subsidize direct to the consumer, where consumer happy, government happy. But by Donald Trump is more like a businessman. They help the real businessman first. When businessmen make money, they have more money to pay for their staff, pay for the entire US economy. So when this thing goes out, would Donald Trump really push the economy for manufacturing, or what is his future direction? We're not sure yet, but this is something that we will keep on notice for the future. If economy of manufacturing will scale up, then very likely that S&P 500 will jump up another levels. For China wise, manufacturing and service line just back above 50. Will there be any opportunity happen in Asia? Personally, I believe that China will move the same direction as US, which is invest in renewable energy. When they have more and more profit on their hand, they will start to expand more renewable energy within China area, and next they will focus in exporting already. Okay, meaning that whatever the China economy doing right now, they has been proven that it's solid and mature enough to go out of China to fight the war already. So very likely that if China want to grow the economy, they will export more and more into South Asia, including like Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. These are the top 3 countries that they will first come in to do business with. But don't talk about those we call this like Michela. Those F&B is not the main business driven to the China economy. The real driven is manufacturing, including like those power plants, infrastructure. Those kind of big development is what China good at. So very likely that they will expand their economy to all the Southeast Asia for all these big manufacturing plantation kind of like business. Okay, so coming back, let's talk a little bit about stats about forex for the next year. Okay, so you see, the data that we want to look at is what happens during Donald Trump periods. Is Donald Trump help US economy grow or worse? So from forex perspective, he was being a president since 2017 to 2021, and you can see from 2017 until 2021, okay, for Euro USD perspective, it is actually grow, I mean in a reverse way. Euro USD go up means USD come down on Donald Trump periods. On GBP USD is the same. Okay. GBP USD goes up, means that USD come down. A more obvious is USD JPY. From 217 all the way to 2021, what happened in this period is that USD JPY will just come all the way down. That means Donald Trump policy is always want to lower down the dollar index, lower down the dollar value, increase the effectiveness of doing export business. Sort of like my currency is cheaper right now, all my product in my country is cheaper right now. Now is the time for you guys to buy my products because I'm cheap. Okay, sort of like a price war. Hence, what will happen in upcoming future is my own prediction. USD JPY will likely to drop all the way back down, including like USD CAD. You can look into it. From 2015, this is the highest for USD CAD, and when Donald Trump on board, USD CAD will likely to come all the way down. For a long period, not a 1 or 2 day, but for a long period, for at least 1 or 2 years. Okay, but then a little bit different for AUD and NZD is that if you see the period of Donald Trump commerce is nothing much. I mean, of course, this is COVID period, but to be exact, the value of AUD and NZD does not much affected by USD. So, which personally I think that the AUD and NZD, both of this currency will just remain stable. Euro and GBP both goes back up to what is initially it is, right? So Euro will back up to that level. Of course, that is provided that Euro and GBP itself, they do not have a major effect on their economy lah. Okay, major effect means that natural disaster, maybe another war, right? Hopefully that thing doesn't happen anymore. In terms of stock itself, if we look into it, within Donald Trump periods, it is growing, and I just believe that S&P and Nasdaq will still keep on moving higher and higher. Okay. In terms of gold, now gold is same. Okay, Donald Trump period go up a lot, and Biden period also go up a lot, which I personally believe that in upcoming for the next few months, gold will drop a little bit, and moving forward it will continue to spike up all the way to 2850. Okay, 2850 is my prediction up to February. Okay, highest will go to 2850. Why? Donald Trump goes up, there are a lot of things that can happen. Market fear a bit, fear there, fear this, then yeah, it will go up. For Bitcoin, right, for cryptocurrency wise, now right now obviously it's all-time high. But if I look into previously, how does all-time high come down? Okay, the first time it goes to all-time high is here. If I take the point from here all the way to the day that it come down, it is around 81 days for it to come down. Okay, from the first peak all the way ranging to here is about 81 days. From the real highest to here is 28 days. Meaning what? Meaning it just take 1 or 3 months, right? 1 to 3 month periods. Okay, 1 to 3 month periods for the Bitcoin to stable at the top before it crash. Okay, that is on 2021, which is Donald Trump period. Next goes to here. Okay, from the highest peak all the way the initial drop is about 1 month. Okay, it's about 1 month. Then it's dead. Then happens to be right now. From the highest peak all the way drop still takes about 1 to 3 months. 1 month is about here, which is around 20 of January. I'm not a fortune teller, but my personal bias is that once Donald Trump up, it may push the Bitcoin to goes up further 1 more round, and maybe 1 more month later it will start to drop already. So my personal bias is that around 20 of January, okay, Bitcoin may have a sign of clear signal from Twitter. Okay, see that what would be the new policy of Donald Trump first. If the Donald Trump have a push on crypto, then don't short. If Donald Trump has seen nothing about this and they are more focused on, we call this as stocks, manufacturing, traditional business, a lot of things that to do with traditional crude oil crude oil natural gas kind of thing, then this kind of new technology will drop. But if we suddenly talk about crypto, solar energy, nuclear plant, alright, what they call NFT, all this kind of thing, then hold on, maybe that is another push hype for crypto. Personal experience while Donald Trump was on president is economy well likely to be like yo-yo, up down, up down, up down. And when that thing happens, that is also means that US is making good money, right? A lot of quantitative funds in US, the way that they make money is that they want the market to shake. Okay, when they shake up and down, that's the way that they make money, and everyone was making money from there. Okay, hence by how much I understand Donald Trump is they were likely to make the crypto to jump up and down as well. And very likely that what happened in the past 2017 will appear again. Okay, 2017 is here. Okay, all the way to 2021. So would there be another jump like what people had drawn earlier? This is first jump, and this is second jump, and it will drop again to here, from here to here, then another big jump to here. 150k. Maybe, I'm not sure, but that is my predictions. Okay, in a way that don't think about crypto as investment, right? Really think it as a way to casino, alright, just to casino it. It's a way to make quick money, but it's for fun. Okay, don't really put your life saving into it. So in terms of stocks, right, biggest winner goes to US. Okay, 25 to 28% growth rate for entire years, which is a pretty good job. Around 1 to 3% growth rate per month. And if you look into China share, it's about 15%. Pretty consistent. Is still achieving what this US 30 is doing right now. It's almost there. Okay, go to Hong Kong is about 18%. The result is still there. And other country, if you can scan through all the way from top and bottom, mostly this year is a happy ending for all the people that invest in stocks. If you are investing in commodities, okay, it's a peaceful year for you. Crude oil, Brent, zero increments, or even there's actually a drop, meaning that oil price for this year is very, very stable. It's go up a lot by the early of the year and also drop a lot by the end of the year, but that is basically the seasonal trend for crude oil. So you see, what happened earlier of the year is that crude oil increased around April and start to drop all the way back down. And if I include the alpha seasonal chart of crude oil, you can start to see that crude oil is pretty much the same pattern almost again and again. Someone asked me about this seasonal chart about crude oil. In fact, seasonal chart was more accurate if you use it in commodities like oil. Let me use a better one. Crude oil. Hopefully this got more data. Yeah. So you can see early of the year is almost growing, end of the year is almost dropping. And I mean that's basically the trend. Okay. You can see that from year to year result, early of the year is always growing, end of the year is like drop all the way. So I mean that is good thing for us. I mean the petrol is still the cheap. But then the thing is that natural gas increases by 43%. That is translated to electricity price specific for Europe area and UK. The electricity price increased by 50% at least. Okay, you see the gas price over their side increased by 50%. Indirectly, the manufacturing cost increased by 50%. manufactured food, whatever, all the way back to consumer increased 100%. And that is how crazy is inflation. Just within 1 year, your chao gui tiao of 7 ringgit, end of the year become 14 ringgit. And the salary is still the same. So can US solve, can the Europe area solve this? Technically, still can actually. Europe and UK area, their salary per head is very, very high. Yeah, just sort of like back to what is happening in our Asia area. And next question back then is how fast they can solidify what's happening right now and solve it using a more matured China solution or US solution. So they have to find their partners. That's why that right now there are more and more people talk about BRICS. In case that you guys don't know what is BRICS, okay, this should be a topic for 2025 as well. Not this BRICS. I think I typed wrong. Okay, you guys can go to Investopedia and study a little bit more about what is this BRICS stand for. It's basically all these countries in Asia combined together as a bigger economy to fight against US. If trade war happens, all these countries will just combine together and do economy without US, which Donald Trump really don't like this. And they give warning to them if all of these BRICS people, BRICS country ignore US, they will come up with a strong policy to ban you or whatever lah. Okay, and this BRICS is very likely to be a potential solution for Europe area. If they join them, okay, totally ignore US, their economy could be grow up due to China manufacturing power, or they can join US for growing up their economy power. Personal perspective is Europe will likely to do with, they will not fight. They see how US and China fight. In the end, who is the winner? Almost the winner, they goes more to their side. Let's look forward, right? What will happen in 2025? But personal perspective is that Europe currency and GBP currency will likely goes up, and by that time the economy would grow up as well. And then depend on their policy lah, what would they use the money for. Personally think that if they go to US, it's actually more favorable compared they go to China, because US is more matured in terms of manufacturing and the culture, everything was much matched compared to China. So let's see forwards. In terms of price of the metals, is gold and silver goes up a lot. Gold and silver is always above. One goes up, another one sure goes up. Other metals drop in the price, so that is also mean that our inflation was kind of like stabilized already. Some up, some down, some up, some down. Not all the material goes up. That means that our material was dropped in the pricing. In terms of the bonds, why I talk about the bonds is 2022 is all everyone talk about the bonds. Last time the bond rate was very high, and now it is about back to normal. So bond rate back to normal 4.6. That is also mean that interest rate should need to drop back already. Okay, means that economy is kind of stabilized. Banks, all this is starting to buy back the US bond. Yeah. So the trend for next year is interest rate drop, US currency drop, all the other currency against USD will start up. Okay, so this is just a proof from my point of view. In terms of crypto, why I bring up this slide is because they are the winner. Okay, they are the winner for 2024 for sure. The highest growing asset. Will they be the highest again? Not sure. But 2023, crypto was a worst asset because it dropped the most. Alright, almost like 50% of the asset dropped. And let's look forward, alright, what will happen in 2025. Personal opinion is 2025 should be a booming for most of the stocks industry, and next booming will be actually more on forex. How I totally swap over for the forex growth. Okay, so that is the overview of what is happening in 2024 and 2025 market overlooked. Now, last part is seasonal analysis. Okay, now seasonal analysis part, over the setting here, okay, suppose you can make a change on the year. So right now it's end of 2004 and you can start the input for 2004 to get an update of what is happening in 2004. But you can see that the data will not change much lah. Okay. Last time we got talk about the Gold-SP500 seasonality, and right now is time. Okay, right now is almost the time. So you see the entire 2024, the average growing is early of the year grow up, end of the year drop. In the middle, not sure up or down. But Biden policy, everything goes up. So what will happen in 2025 is the same. January to April is all growing up. September start to be a little bit positive. So moving forward will be October to December to be coming down. In between will be S&P 500 periods. So right now, stock was going up, was totally fine, and personal perspective is that January will down. Okay, then Donald Trump come up, he will launch a lot of policy, and people will still do evaluation, and a lot of bad news may come out on January. So US share may drop, including like February, US share will drop as well. Okay, or maybe this one drop, this one increase back, or this one increase, this one drop back. But whatever happens after announcement of dividend, the share, the economic value, everything, March was have a little bit pullback. The remaining months will go up very, very strong. Personal expectation of S&P 500 for next year is about the same, which is 28 to 36% annual growth rate for S&P 500, excluding dividends. Especially, I'm having a high hope on all these technology stocks. How will they move forward for next year? How will they fight against the China? So that is for S&P 500. For dollar index, I think this is pretty simple. What will happen is January will drop, followed by all these. Okay, I mean this means maybe some grow up, but maybe I just show this. I always believe that historical will repeat by itself. Just like how Donald Trump was come out become president again. Okay, like here. Okay, I get more exact screenshot. Somewhere here. Okay. So it's like ding, ding, ding. Okay, and then next go with Biden. This is what Biden have done for throughout the year. And after that, Donald Trump come in, will start down. Okay, will start to drop all the way down, moving to back up, maintain within this region, or actually below here, and moving down further. Okay, my personal expectation is that it will very likely to break below this 100 mark. 100 mark is a simple definition of does US strong or weaker. Okay, does US stronger or weaker? So over here, very likely that I expect USD will getting weaker over the time. Yeah, by that said, that is all the macroeconomy stuff, and next we'll move on to alpha accelerator updates. Before we go on, is there any question that you guys would like to ask?